Hey guys, don't pay attention to my sexy look here. We just got our shower worked on, so I haven't been able to take a shower yet today. So I'm a dirty Gertie. So I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, there's some things that I believed in the very beginning of all this crazy stuff that we've been through over the last few years. And I followed my intuition and stuff. But I'm doing this video because there's some things that really upset me. And this might just be my personal opinion or what have you, but I'm always telling you guys about awakening and being awoke to your spiritual side. But with that also comes another form of awakening, and that's seeing through lies and deceit that we've often been blinded from. So it's not just about your spiritual awakening, it's about another awakening about lies and deceit to the public and to consumers and for humanity, actually. So I posted 3 videos from Project Veritas. And if you don't know anything about Project Veritas, what you need to know is they are journalism done the right way. They go undercover. They try to bring the truth, find the truth, and give the public the truth. They are not sponsored by anyone. No big corporations, that is, big pharma, nothing. You don't see them on, they're a non-for-profit, so you don't see them ads paying for their stuff like you do on TV. I'm sure you have seen numerous ads. This nightly news was brought to you by Pfizer. So anytime I see a news outlet have that after it or during their commercial break or whatever, there's a problem, because that tells me that this news outlet gets money from big corporations or big pharma or whatever, and they probably have a little bit of say on what is allowed to be on that news outlet. So let me get to business. When I'm talking about awakening, and this is not about if you're Democrat or Republican or if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, this is what I want you guys to be awoke to. So the 3 videos I posted on Facebook had to do with a guy named Jordan Walker. He is a Pfizer research and development executive. So he sits pretty high up there. He studies mRNA. He went to school at Yale, graduated in 2013, went to Texas Medical School, became a doctor or whatever he is. He currently, I think, works at a hospital also in one of those eastern states, but he works for Pfizer. He's an executive, and he's high up there if he's studying mRNA research and development, right? So Project Veritas is a non-for-profit organization that speaks the truth. They do undercover investigations like journalism should be, to get the truth to the public. Not to misinform people, but to tell the truth behind a story. Because these are things that you guys are not seeing. Some of you are not seeing what the truth is. You're only seeing what these propaganda news outlets want you to see. What I'm having a problem with is why this news that I'm getting ready to tell you is not on our actual national news stations, or I don't even know if it's overseas. But it had 14 million views as of yesterday, I think, or earlier today. I don't know what it's up to as of right now. I don't know what it's up to now. But that means it's viral. If it's hit 14 million viewers, that tells me it's viral, and I have not seen it. I don't watch the news, but I often cook supper, and I hear Josh watching the news, but I have not heard anything about this on any news outlet yet. And you guys should know about it. So they're non-for-profit, so they only take donations for money from public people or whatever to help support their journalism strategy, which is truth, okay? They're not sponsored by big pharma, big tech, nothing like that. So they can't be bought and paid for like all these other outlets. So first things first, this Jordan Walker, like I said, he graduated from Yale in 2013. This is totally going based on the information that I found online. He went to Texas Medical University, I think, to get his doctorate, and he supposedly works at a hospital now or something, but he's also research and development executive at Pfizer. So he's going on a date, right? He's going on this date with this person, not knowing that this person was wearing a body cam or whatever to catch whatever he was saying on, to them. So this Jordan proceeds to talk about what his research is. What his research is. Now, grant you, this is not about if you believe in vaccines or you don't believe in vaccines. Personally, I did not get the vaccine because I have health issues and I don't know what it would have done to my body. The vaccines work however your body's made. It's not a one for all kind of vaccine. It's to each his own, and what you decide is right for your own body and how it reacts to your own body. For me, it was a no because I have too many health issues and it probably could have done more damage than good. So, my thing is, this guy starts talking about what his research is. And he's talking about how they decided that, we've seen all these different forms of COVID, right? That it's mutated or whatever. So Pfizer has decided that, or this guy is stating that they decided that, why don't we get ahead of the game and mutate it ourselves? So he's saying that they take monkeys, inject them with COVID, then let them integrate with each other and pass it from one monkey to another. And then when the virus gets to this really big form, then they take, according to him, they put the virus in a monkey, then they cause them to interact and infect each other. Then we collect serial samples from them, and then we take that serial sample of the higher infectious virus of COVID, then we inject it into another monkey and do it again. So this is what they're doing. They're letting the monkeys constantly infect, actively mutating this COVID virus. And you know what his statement was? Either way, COVID's going to be a cash cow for us going forward because of the mutated COVID. But he also states, of course we don't tell the public this. And then he also talks about the Wuhan lab, the virology lab, where it leaked from in the beginning. He said it's the same thing they did, but we're doing it at Pfizer. Now, why are you guys not being told this? Why are we not being told this? These are crimes against humanity. These are things because they know they are profiting off of death, illnesses from this COVID, and profiting off of mutating this COVID virus to infect people with a worse kind so they can get ahead of it and make another vaccination or a pill or whatever. They're talking about profiting, and it's a cash cow. That's the kind of stuff Pfizer talks about. Isn't this disgusting? Doesn't this make you sick? When I talk about being awoke, it's not only spiritually awoke, it's paying attention to those deceitful people in our country and other countries who are profiting off of people's lives. Pharmaceutical companies are supposed to be there to help us heal, to solve whatever medical issue we have, or to take away our pain, or what have you. They're not there to kill us, and that's what they are doing. To make money, to make billions of dollars. So what upsets me, I'm thinking to myself, we know numerous times we've seen politicians all about big pharma. They're in the pockets of big pharma. And after they leave their political seats, they go work for Pfizer or one of those other pharmaceutical companies that had them in the pocket to begin with. So pay attention. This is what I'm talking about, being awoke. It's not only your spiritual awakening, it is a humanitarian awakening. Pay attention, because these pharmaceutical companies and certain politicians are lying to us about everything. Why is it okay that the FDA can approve certain foods here in the United States for us to consume, but if you go to Europe, those same foods are banned? They are restricted from that country. Certain dyes, MSGs, GMOs, all that stuff is restricted in certain countries, but it's legal here in the United States, and that makes no sense to me. You know why? Because they want us to be sick. So big pharma, who is billions and trillions of dollars worth of money, can profit. And I'm sure some of these politicians get kickbacks for that, because obviously they do when they leave their seat and they're able to go work for Pfizer. So my problem is, you guys need to watch these videos. And I'm not trying to be some kind of conspiracy theory. When I'm talking about being awoke, I'm talking about being awoke all the way around, 360 degrees. That includes your spiritual awareness and your humanitarian awareness also. You need to pay attention, because these news outlets are not telling you the truth. Pfizer is lying to the consumer. We are the consumers who consume their products to hopefully get better from whatever illness we have. Yet they're creating illnesses to make us worse. so they can then give us a medication to maybe help or maybe kill us or whatever it's going to do. So you need to pay attention. When James O'Keefe came in, and James O'Keefe is like the president or whatever of Project Veritas, the owner, whatever you want to call it. He is all about seeking truth, because he found out that when he worked in journalism years ago, that journalists weren't allowed to speak the truth. They were only allowed to speak for the agenda of the person that paid their way. So this non-for-profit Project Veritas has come out and been telling the truth. That's what journalism is supposed to be about. Find the truth, seek the truth, and tell the truth to the public so they know what is going on right in front of their faces. And this is what is wrong with so many of our national news outlets and our media on TV. This is what's wrong. They've been bought. Their CEOs are bought. And then they tell you everything's so hunky-dory. And have you ever noticed they always tell you bad things? You never hardly see anything on the news that is good. Once in a blue moon, they'll sneak a story in about some child donating his piggy bank money to something. But other than that, it's all negative shit. You know why? Because negative shit makes people feel negative. They don't want you to be happy-go-lucky. They want you to conform to a certain way so they have more control. It's called propaganda, people. I learned this in psychology class when I was in university. I learned how they hide certain things in commercials to make you want to buy a certain product. And now half the commercials on TV are from big pharma. And if you ever notice that down at the very bottom, it says all kinds of negative shit that could happen to you. And usually the ending one is, and death. Now, why are pharmaceutical companies allowed to even have commercials on TV? First of all, because then we think, oh, well, I've got that symptom. Oh, I've got that symptom. I need to ask my doctor if I should take this medication they're advertising on TV. Sounds like everything I have. Pharmaceutical companies should not be legally allowed to advertise drugs on TV because it's caused a damn pandemic in itself with people thinking something's wrong with them. I need to take this medication. I mean, it's opened a big can of worms. Pain medication, all of it. It's opened a big can of worms. It should be illegal for them to be on TV and do ads. This is what I'm talking about, being awoke 360. People need to pay attention. And I wish you guys would all go watch this Project Veritas so you can see how this man, Jordan Walker, was telling his date all this stuff. So when James O'Keefe came in to question him and interview him and ask him, why are you doing this with Pfizer? This guy gets all frantic. And then he says this. He says, I was on a date. I was lying to impress my date. I'm sorry, Mr. Walker, but if you call harming the public or harming humanity impressive, you need to be put away because you're a psychopath. That's how I look at it. He's saying he made all that shit up. He made all that up. He lied to his date to impress his date. I'm sorry, but that's... Who goes on a date and tries to impress them with death or something worse, a stronger virus that could kill people? More people than it already has, or harm people that make them have long-term effects. That's not impressive. That's psychotic, and that is a psychopath. That is mass murder. That's crimes against humanity. That is not impressive to me at all. That's what disgusts me. Next thing this kid does, this Walker guy, who is like I said, a research and development executive for Pfizer. And James O'Keefe has the proof that he does work there because he has documentation. And when they reached out to Pfizer to ask them these questions, the next thing you know is they start shutting their comments down on Twitter, on Facebook, on all outlets they have because they know they're in the wrong. James O'Keefe got notified today, I think it was, that he has some insiders inside Pfizer, I'm sure, that are squealing because there are people like you and me that work there to make a living but have seen some very shady shit going on in that corporation. So they have said everybody's being pulled in and interrogated to find out who is leaking this information. Okay, if they had nothing to hide, why do they need to interrogate anybody in their employee section? Why are they interrogating all their employees if they have nothing to hide? Because they want to find the person who's leaking this evidence and is leaking this truth behind their agendas, because they want to oust them. Now Pfizer's trying to make it seem like this James Walker does not exist, which he most definitely does, because we've got proof. He even has an email that ends with Pfizer. So we have the proof from James O'Keefe. He's done all the legwork, the footwork. His journalists have too. Be awoke 360, people, not just spiritually. Be awoke 360 all the way around, because these are crimes against humanity, crimes against you, crimes against me. We have kids, we have grandkids, and we will have great-grandkids that are going to suffer the consequences because of big pharma in places like this. If people don't start stepping up and saying something. If you see something, you say something. That's the motto for most anything. Abuse, anything. It is see something, say something. And this is the same situation. We need to confront our politicians that stand and supposed to represent us people as a public or as a community. We need to tell them these kind of things are no longer going to happen. We don't want pharmaceutical companies doing ads on television any longer. We need to stand up and do that. I'm not smart enough to be a politician. God forbid, I wish I was, because I would oust every freaking bullshit out there. Believe me, I would. I would probably be the most hated by big corporations, but I don't give two shits. I would oust everyone because it's wrong. We are the ones who pay for them to be in office. We are the ones who pay the taxes to support these people. And it's time that these people work for us and not big corporations. And this is getting to be overly ridiculous. So now that I've put this out there, I want you guys all to go watch those videos. Now this Mr. Walker, when he was asked by James O'Keefe, he wanted to ask him questions about why he said the things he said and what is going on in Pfizer. This guy gets offended. He like attacks James O'Keefe, then tells him, I made it all up. I lied to impress my date. Well, I'm sorry, that don't impress any date, telling you you're going to possibly kill people. So next thing you know is he wants to call the cops. The manager asked James O'Keefe and them to leave. So James was going to. And the Walker guy was like, no, don't leave. I'm calling the police. Don't let them leave. Don't let them leave. So as he's calling the police, do you want to know what he threw out there? I'm afraid for my life. There's 5 white people in here, and I'm afraid. Why did he bring race into it? Why? Because he thought, okay, 5 white people is going to get the police there faster, thinking that this person might, I don't know if he's biracial. I don't know what his race is. I really don't give two shits. He should have never brought race into it, because it wasn't about race. It was about being truthful and honest. And James O'Keefe just wanted to ask questions. That's all it was about. But he throws the race card out there because he knew the police would probably hurry up if he said there's 5 white people and I feel threatened. But really, he was the threatening person. He's been a threat to you. He's been a threat to me. And he's been a threat to all humanity for the things he is doing under Pfizer's control. Not only that is, he attacked James O'Keefe, knocked the iPad out of his hand that had all the recording on there, you know, about the things he said about what Pfizer is doing and how they're going to make tons of money off this. He attacked him. You guys need to watch these 3 videos and pay attention and know that Project Veritas is about seeking justice and truth for the American people. They're not about the Democrats. They're not about the Republicans. They're not about the vaxxed and the unvaxxed. They want people to know the facts, the truth behind these agendas of big corporations, not caring about your health and well-being, not caring about my health and well-being, not caring about generations after us. And I'm not trying to sit here and seem like a negative Nancy. I want you guys to be awake and pay attention to these things. Like I said, it's not just about being spiritually awoke. It's about being awoke 360. We see so much corruption in our country, and we've let these people get away with it for decades and decades. And like I said, when I was in psychology class, I learned from a very, very, very good professor who was with the Innocence Project, who was with helping people on death row who were falsely accused, and they found DNA that exonerated them, and they were released after maybe 20 freaking years because they had the wrong person. My professor was amazing. He taught us about how commercials have hidden pictures or hidden things that look sexual or that look different ways that attracts us to that commercial or makes us want to go out and buy that product. He showed us the hidden things in certain commercials. And I never once paid attention to that until he taught me that. And now I pay attention. And I've been graduated from college for years now, but I still watch commercials. I'm like, that M looks like boobs. Did you notice that? And that's the kinds of things I'm talking about. They hide certain pictures within commercials to draw in the consumer. And for some reason, it's a brain thing. You know, people talk about mind control. I'm not saying it's mind control, but in a way, it's mind manipulation. And that's how they sell more products. And they've done studies showing that once they release a certain commercial, that their product, you know, their sales and product for that product went way sky high compared to the commercial they had done prior. So this is a thing. And it's no different than the pharmaceutical companies jumping on there and advertising drugs. I'm sure there's stuff hidden within there and I just haven't seen it yet. I just want you guys to pay attention and be awoke 360 and go with your gut intuition. If something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. And your instincts are way stronger than you give yourself credit for. We were given a gift, and that gift is intuition. That gift is knowing that there's a higher power. That gift is something that we were given. It's a gift, and use it because it does work. Follow your gut, follow your heart, follow your instincts. But please watch them 3 videos because me explaining it, I'm not doing a very good job, but I want you guys to see the manipulation and stuff that goes on behind the scenes that should be told nationally on the news and is not. And if it has been, somebody comment and let me know because I've not heard of it yet. Josh hasn't said anything to me about it yet. So it makes me think it's not national on the national news because Big Pharma often has many of those people in their pocket. And of course, they're only going to say what they want you to hear, not the truth. So always believe, believe, believe. Most of all, believe in yourself and pay attention. Be aware of the things that are happening and speak up. Speak up. Because this is what we need. Our politicians need to know that we are not going to take this shit no more. That we, the people, want things to be done the right way for the best in the health and well-being of the people. Because we pay your salary. All right, guys. Sorry for the little rant, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I mean, yeah, there's some things I've seen that I believed prior to all this crazy illness stuff happening. There was things in my intuition that told me, don't do this, don't do that. You're going to be fine, blah, blah, blah. And I followed my gut the whole time. The whole freaking 3 years. I followed my gut and I've been fine. I've been perfectly fine. Not to say that I might not someday, but I'm just saying I've followed my intuition and so far it has not led me wrong. Just follow your instincts. And please watch those 3 videos so you can get a bigger understanding of the lies that we are being fed daily and that's being hid from the public because you need to know. That way you can use your voice to help the next generation, your kids, your grandkids, and the generations to come. Because this is ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It's all about money and greed and power. And it's time that these people are brought back down on a level playing field with the rest of us. All right. I love you all. Good night. Believe, 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 and always believe in yourself.